Hi, my name is Nicole Hinds, and I am a seventh grade English language arts / social studies teacher at Sycamore Middle School in Sycamore, Illinois. I have been teaching for 27 years. This is my 27th year. I taught fifth grade for 3 years. Then I taught sixth, seventh, and eighth grade social studies and math for a year. Then I went back to fifth grade for another 15 years. Then I left where I was at in Algonquin and Dundee. Administration had changed. I was tired of the drive living out here in Sycamore, and I started to substitute teach for a few years. And then I came back and got a job here in Sycamore and have been here for the past 4 years teaching. I'm taking this class because I taught fifth grade for so long that it was a dream. The students loved being in school. They wanted to learn. They wanted to please me. There wasn't a whole lot to do with motivation for them because they had that motivation there. You had your few students here and there to try and motivate, but for the most part, the kids in fifth grade want to be there. They want to learn. They're young enough to do that. They still have that desire to learn. Now that I'm teaching seventh grade, I find that that's not necessarily the case. So I would love to learn different techniques to try to motivate my kids to try to want to learn. I also am taking this class because for myself, I'm at the point where I can add on to my hours past a master's degree to move over on the pay scale. So I have that motivation for myself as well to earn more money by taking more classes. My own definition of motivation is it's kind of like that little spirit you have inside of you that gives you that push to achieve your goals. And it means to me that you just have that drive, you have that desire to accomplish something, whether it be as small as getting up in the morning to brush your teeth or as large as working throughout high school to save enough money to go to college. So motivation is, again, something that's just inside of you to keep you going and making you want to do something. When I was in school, I was always very motivated to please. I wanted to please my teachers. I wanted to please my mom. My father passed away when I was young, so my mom had to work 2 jobs in order to support us. And so I didn't want her to have to worry about me. I wanted her to know that I was doing what I could in school. So I was very motivated to do well to make sure that she was okay and she didn't have to worry about me. I was the most motivated in English language arts. I loved to read, still love to read, loved to write, and I also did very well in math. Science was not the area that I had motivation in, and I think a lot of that comes from the fact that when I was young, my science classes basically were just reading and reading about information that I didn't really care about. I didn't have interest in. We didn't do a lot of hands-on activities with science, so I just didn't ever really get motivated to learn about science when I was young. I think if I had done some of the things that kids do now in science, I probably would have enjoyed it a little bit more. Um, as I got older, I think my motivation changed because I went from trying to please others to trying to please myself. I knew that I had to do something to work as an adult, and I knew that the only way I was going to do that was to go to college. So I had that motivation to go to college so I would make something of myself. I didn't have any skills necessarily. My skills were my brain, and so I knew that college was the only place I could go to enhance that skill and do something to create a life for myself. Um, Something in the readings that totally reminded me of myself and my own motivation. There was two different things. First was the Mrs. Fletcher situation where she displayed math work of the highest achieving students. Because I thought back to myself in elementary school, and our teachers would do that as well, and that was such a no motivator for me. I did not want to be the nerdy kid in school or the kid who was a brainiac and didn't want to be made fun of for that reason. So for the teachers to display my work was never something I ever wanted to do. So that would actually motivate me not to do well on my math or not to do well on that subject area, so I would not be displayed. I also looked at the intrinsic and extrinsic motivation because, again, I feel that is so totally myself with this coming to take this class because I want to learn from my students. I want them to have motivation. So I have that intrinsic motivation, but I also have that extrinsic motivation because, again, I want to move over on the pay scale. So I have that, thing for myself as well as what I want to learn from my students. I'm very excited to learn some different techniques and get to know what ways that I can help my students become better students. So I'm looking forward to what we learn in this class. Thank you so much.